Welcome to Radical Underdogs. My name is Will. I'm a privateer racer. We're at Cadwell Park this weekend. We've already done video one, which covered a couple of accidents we had, incidents, I guess, in qualifying and in race one, where we got a penalty in the first penalty points of the season. So if you haven't seen that, do switch back to the previous video and have a look at that. We're going straight into race two. And welcome to Feature Will doing the commentary here. Red lights are on, long lights on, long lights on, long red lights. And we are going in the race two of this BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Clubman Championship. We've got Neil Chisnell going very slowly, got his hands up out, and everyone just about making it around him. I think Neil does get going again, but he's basically at the back of the field now. We've already made up a place, got Jamie Turner alongside us, and that was who we came together with in the last race and got our first penalty points of the season. And as we're coming down now into Charlie's for the first time, you've got Robert Greensmith up ahead fighting, I think that's with Tim Storer in car number 50, but we'll find out a bit later. And then actually Jamie's having to defend for Andrew Dean behind him, so we're actually making up quite a healthy gap behind us. And up ahead there's smoke pouring out of the tyres, probably someone locking up down into park. And now we have to go through Chris Curve. Cars kind of still cars side by side up ahead, but we're certainly line astern. Cars side by side into the gooseneck. It's not really the place you want to go side by side. They're definitely a bit slower through there. Just no one really fancying. And actually, Jamie Turner's caught all the way back up. He's had a look down the inside. He's never going to make it through from there, but I did leave room on the inside just in case he sort of came steaming through with locked wheels or something like that. But no, he managed to get it stopped, and we sort of gave up that space for nothing, really. Oh, and there's a car facing the wrong way. That's Graham Rumsey facing the wrong way at the mountain section. We're having to take to the grass. Chaos behind us, and there will be a penalty investigation after the race, so keep an eye on that one. But Graham ended up facing the wrong way, right to the back of the grid again. I think he does manage to get going again, but that is pretty much ruined Graham's race. He was doing quite well. He started alongside us actually in race one, so he made up quite a few positions to get there. But all down to the back of the grid after just lap one. So that's the first flying lap. That is a 2:06. Obviously, it's a lot slower because obviously we start from a standing start on the grid. It got Jamie Turner, who is bearing down on us. He has been faster than us in the last couple of races, so it's going to be a job to keep him behind. Although if you're going to keep someone behind at any racetrack, it's probably going to be Cadwell. The racetrack is extremely narrow. So you've got Robert Greensmith up ahead. He's extremely close. We're going to be catching as well, and I think I'm quite keen to avoid a repeat of last time. So I think I'm going to avoid showing my nose down the inside here. I don't think I'm not close enough anyway. But I'm not going to sort of jump on the brakes like I did last time. I think lesson learned on that one. And sticking behind Robert as we go through park, and then Chris Curve again. So there was no way through. So do have a look at that race one. There's definitely mistakes being made. God, he's going to make it through. And the gooseneck, it's side by side at the gooseneck. That is a brave move there from Robert. Oh, and he's still on the outside. And it's going to be side by side. Locks a wheel, but doesn't make it through. We're kind of hanging back. It looked like it was going to come together at one point, and in so doing, you've got Jamie Turner right alongside us, braking for the mountain section. We've locked our front left. Jamie makes it through. Nice braking there, gets it stopped and through the mountain section, and we lose that position. We're back down to position 16. So we're still 2 up from where we started, but we're now right behind Jamie. We got basically a grandstand view of the battle up ahead. As you can see, Jamie Turner quite keen to make some progress after obviously the accident in the last race, and as you can see, he's made quite a decent exit out of the last corner at Barn onto the start-finish straight. He's definitely got the slipstream of Rob Greensmith up ahead in car 122, so he might. It's not really the place to overtake, actually. I mean, I know people do it, and he's going to give it a go, but it is a flat-out corner, and actually they both actually do a little bit of a break into that corner, not really risking coming together at 90, 100 miles an hour. Another brave move. I think Robert's making brave moves of his own, but eventually got overtaken there down into Coppice. But now he's definitely looking to try and find a way back past. He's definitely got the slipstream now down the back straight, so potentially exactly the same move. But Jamie's going defensive into park. Maybe that's going to give us a chance to catch back up again, because obviously battling up ahead, it has allowed actually, I think that's Tim Storer in car 50 to get away. I think Rob was right alongside him this time last lap, but look at him, he's now like a second down the road. So this fighting up ahead is definitely allowing us to catch back up again. Again, we don't really want to get collected, I think, so there's the dust flying up into the windscreen, and Rob's having a look down the inside, and he's not going to make it through that time, but by going so tight on that corner, it means we're right up against, and we're going to be pretty much in his car, bumper to bumper as we go down to the mountain section, but no, there's no way through there. He was slightly defensive down that straight, so we couldn't repeat the move that Jamie had done on us last lap. So in going back through this mountain section, it's very unusual to get a pass done here. It's extremely narrow, tight and twisty, and the barriers are right there. In fact, you can see the spectators up on the left. You can get extremely close to the track on the inside here, or the outside I should say, yeah, you get a great view. It's one of the great spectator tracks actually. As I said in the last commentary, not necessarily one I'm a massive fan of racing at, just because the track is quite so narrow, and it's a bit of a car breaker. There aren't any gravel runoffs really, and you go straight into barriers when you get onto the wet grass. There's no way of saving it really, so that does happen to a few people here. So as we're going round right at the top of the circuit here, going back onto the main straight, we are going to skip ahead a few laps, and you can see Jamie Turner's making his way through just precisely where I said you really can't make your way through because it's so narrow, but he somehow manages it, getting Tim Storer out of the way there, and in so doing, Rob Greensmith is now right on the tail of Tim Storer, and he's going to follow him all the way down. If he gets a good exit here, he can maybe pull the same move that Jamie did the couple of laps before, but he is definitely in the slipstream up ahead. Tim Storer going to make his way down into Coppice for the lap number 5, and it is still all kicking off ahead, and actually we're still being able to just about hang on at the moment. I think it's the car's still a little bit wounded from the last race. We haven't managed to get it aligned or anything, so Tim's got to put a wheel on the grass. He's slid off the circuit, he's made contact with the tyre barrier. Didn't look like it was maybe he can keep the car going, maybe he can get back into the race. It didn't look like he hit the barrier too hard there, but still a nasty incident. We're basically on the second to last lap now. We do skip ahead and actually Jamie Turner going very, very slowly. He must have come off the track at some point, or maybe he's got trouble with his car, so we're going to be right up close to him. We're sort of half thinking I think we would just sort of finish this race on our own. You can kind of see behind us, we're miles back, we're kind of right in the middle of the field, but as I said before, the field does spread out a bit at Cadwell Park. The lap times aren't as close as you get at some other racetracks. I think small changes to driving style and to braking points make quite a big difference at Cadwell. Don't know why that is compared to other racetracks anyway. So we certainly see a bit more field spread. But we're definitely going to stay with this, I think, for the remainder of the race, because it's coming on to the last lap. We're on the second to last lap now, and Jamie has been making mistakes, so he's obviously made a mistake ahead that's allowed us to catch right back up. I think he was sort of 5 or 6 seconds slower on this lap, so we're if he makes one more mistake, we'll be right there. So we're going to just try and keep with it. As you can see, we've been kind of a bit off the pace really. We did a 149.8 earlier in the race, and that was a 151.1. So we're sort of getting on for 2 seconds slower, I think, than 51.9 the lap before. So really, if you've got a bit of an incentive to be chasing someone down, definitely for me, I kind of have it motivating and maybe push the car in places where I was maybe getting a little on the brakes a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit too soon to be honest. But as we go down Park Straight again, going into Park, it does look like Jamie's got this under control. As long as he doesn't make any more mistakes, then I think he's got this position in the back, but it does mean he can't make any mistakes, so we're going to follow him quite closely and make sure that we are there to pick up any pieces if he does make any mistakes. So going through the gooseneck, and I think it's probably good to say, yeah, this is a good example as to why this track is actually quite good for a something like a track day or test days. To be honest, I think that it's a great single car track, so or time trial or whatever. So it's great sort of driving around on your own with this one. I think it is quite a tough track to race at, and even with the small cars like a Mazda MX-5, getting side by side in is not really possible in a lot of places. Although Jamie proved that you could pass at this section earlier in the race, so maybe I'm just completely wrong. But it certainly feels to me that it's a pretty narrow track for car racing. It's I think maybe better for bikes, but it is a sort of really fun track to drive on your own, I think, as maybe this kind of footage shows. So definitely worth going out for a track day or something like that. But do be aware the barriers are quite close, so maybe something you're happy to put into the barriers. Not that there's any car really like that. Anyway, here we go. It's the end of the race, and I don't know if you recall, there was a penalty earlier on, so that does mean it's a 38-second penalty. Which does mean that Charles goes behind us. Charles Boniface in car number 14 goes behind us. We get promoted to position 14. That's it for this time at Cadwell Park. Next time out at Donington Park.